Hey guys, Simon Giselian here. Well, for all of the hype about the 800 generals and the secrecy and all that type of thing, turned into a bit of a damp squib, really. And even though all the other comments that I had in my four videos are still valid, those are still actual things that are happening. And it'll be interesting to see just how they move out from there on. But I got to say, having seen the news today and listening to Pete Hegseth, I mean, I rate Pete Hegseth in a way because he speaks what we all know as veterans, um, and he speaks the truth. He's just got a very weird way of putting it, and I got to say that this getting together of all of these generals to be berated by a former National Guard infantry officer is a bit rich. I mean, there must have been a lot of mouth sucking in the audience as he's berating them for, not being fit, all the DEI stuff. I mean, all of that is very, very valid. But what I can't get to grips with is just the enormity of that cost and the risk to security of putting all of our flag officers in one location. I mean, that to me is just beyond what I would consider reasonable, and it's stupid. I mean, it's just stupid, and it costs a lot of money. If it was all about the the new policy, right, of no beards, no DEI, standardized PT across that's fine, and that's how it should be. But you could do that in a memo. You don't need to fly everyone from all over the globe to meet in one place and get the president there as well. I mean, it must be the biggest security nightmare that there's ever been. And I feel that unless there are breakout groups, which I probably think there are, classified breakout groups to do certain things, that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. And the truth is that Hesketh, when we've seen this, they've changed the name from the Secretary of Defense and the Department of Defense to the Department of War, and that is how America is going. It's not seeking war, but it's seeking to finish wars, and that's exactly what Trump has been doing. Part of this is also linking into the UN as well. I believe that the US will leave the UN at some point, and will probably banish it from its shores. As we know, the land, Turtle Island, that was actually given to the UN, was given to it by the Rockefellers, and it's been Illuminati central ever since. So the sooner we get rid of the UN, at least from these shores, is probably going to be really, really good. The UN have never, in my service of 20 years, never achieved anything. I mean, they didn't achieve anything in Cyprus, they didn't achieve anything in Bosnia, didn't achieve anything in Kosovo, Sierra Leone. I mean, anywhere. The UN is a totally toothless tiger. So Hesketh is right in getting the standards correct. I see no need. I mean, other than it's just nice to have women in the front lines, but there's a natural thing for men to protect women, and they would probably go out of their way to protect a woman. I certainly have, and we had to change some standards in the British military to allow certain women to come in. I mean, just even the simple action of cocking a weapon was too much for some women, even though they were very talented in other areas of intelligence. They just simply couldn't operate in an operational theatre as men could. Men are built differently, and that's just a fact of life. People just need to get over it. All this thing about men in dresses and all the DEI stuff and the racial quotas, it doesn't matter. And he's quite right in that war does not discriminate. War doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care what your sexual identity or preference is. It will kill you nonetheless. What you've got to do is be better than the enemy, and that's essentially it. So I agree with the sentiment. I don't agree with the way that it was done. I think it was stupid, but we shall see now. The military is going to be a very different kettle of fish, and it needs to be because of what is about to happen. And that's where you need to go back to some of my other videos, because we are going to be in conflict in the Middle East. We are going to be in conflict back in Afghanistan. We are going to be in conflict in a number of areas. And as we all know or perceive, special forces and intelligence operators are already in those conflicts and have been for years. So it's going to be an interesting couple of years as we move forward. Russia is largely checked. China is unchecked and will need to be checked if Taiwan is to stay independent. And that's what all this is about. It's all about energy. It's all about China. It's all about world domination of oil, and it's all about the world domination by the United States. That's it, guys. It's pretty simple, really. So that's me, Simon Trezelyan, voice of reason. Yeah. Please like, share, repost, do what you need to do. Keep following me because I've got some good stuff to come. Okay, bye-bye now.